Today we're going to be working with just like fractions, multiply, and divide. So it says explain how to make each fraction computation, then follow a similar procedure for the operations with rational expressions. Okay, so my first one, I've got 3/4 times 5/7. So when I multiply, remember I just multiply the numerator and the denominator. So I'm going to end up with 15 over 28. So my steps, I'm going to multiply across. And like I said, I'm going to multiply the numerators and I'm going to multiply the denominators. So let's look at number 2. For number 2, I'm going to take my whole number and I'm going to put the whole number over 1. And then I'm going to multiply across, just like I did in the first one. So here I end up with 8/9. Okay, let's look at number 3. 3, when I multiply, I can actually simplify. If I have a numerator in one fraction and a denominator in the other, they can actually cancel. So here, I'm going to simplify by canceling the factors on the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to multiply across. So my answer for number 3 is 1/9 because the 4's are going to cancel. And then let's look at number 4. For number 4, it says I can simplify first by canceling the common factors on the top and the bottom, and then multiply across. So what it's essentially saying is I can reduce the 4 and the 6, and I can reduce the 5 and the 15, and then when I multiply, I'm going to end up with 2/9. Okay, so let's look at 1 through 4 using the operations with rational expressions. So let's look at number 1. On problem number 1, I have 2 over x minus 4 times x over x plus 1. So remember, I'm going to multiply across. So when I multiply across, I have 2x in my numerator, and I'm going to FOIL the denominator, and I get x squared minus 3x minus 4. Okay, looking at number 2, it says I'm going to put the whole number over 1, and then I'm going to multiply. So if I put the whole number over 1, I'm going to have 3 over 1 times 8 over x plus 6. And so when I multiply across, I end up with 24 over x plus 6. Same thing on the second one. My x plus 1 is going to be put over 1, and I'm going to multiply across. So here I'm going to actually distribute the 8 to both the x and the 1. So I'm going to end up with 8x plus 8, and my denominator is going to be x plus 6. Okay, looking at the third rule. Third rule says that I'm able to cancel the factors on the top and the bottom. So here I'm going to cancel both the x plus 3 and the x plus 3, and then I'm going to multiply what I have left. Well, what I have left is 2x over x minus 1. Okay, looking at number 4, it says I'm going to simplify first by canceling the common factors on the top and bottom. So just like I said, we were going to reduce. So here I'm going to actually factor this denominator. I'm going to factor out a 2, and I have x minus 3 left. And then here on my trinomial, I'm going to have an x plus 5 and an x plus 4. So I'm going to factor my like terms. Excuse me, I'm going to cancel my like terms. So I'm going to cancel my x plus 5s. I'm going to cancel my x plus 3s. Now, just like I said in the first example, if I cancel all of my numerator is going to end up being a 1. And what I'm left with in the denominator is the 2 and the x plus 4. So when I distribute that out, I get 1 over 2x plus 8. Okay, so let's look at the next few rules. Looking at rule number 5, it says I have 2/3 divided by 1/8, and I get 16/3. So remember, whenever I am actually dividing, I will change my second fraction to the reciprocal and change it to multiplication. So I have 2/3 times the reciprocal of 1 over 8 is 8 over 1, and that's where I get 16 over 3 from. Okay, same thing on number 6. I'm going to change the times to a multiplication, and then I'm going to simplify my common factors. So here I have 3/2 times 8 over 1, and I can actually reduce the 8 and the 2. This becomes a 1, this becomes a 4. So when I multiply it out, 3 times 4 is where I get the 12 from. Okay, so let's use the same concept in working these two examples over here. So on number 5, I still have 2x plus 4 divided by x plus 3. But I'm going to change this division sign to a multiplication. And now I have x minus 2 over 5. So when I FOIL out my numerator, and the denominator, I end up with 2x squared minus 8 divided by 5x plus 15. Same thing on number 6. I have 4 over x plus 3, but instead of dividing, I'm now going to multiply, and my x squared plus 4 plus 3 will be on the top, and when I factor that, I have x plus 3, and I have x plus 1, and my denominator will now become the x minus 7. So remember here, I can cancel my like terms, and so I'm left with 4 over x plus 1, or 4 times x plus 1 over x minus 7. And when I distribute the 4, it's where I get 4x plus 4 over x minus 7. So it says, remember, when you can simplify a fraction or a rational algebraic expression, only when it is multiplication. Okay, so only when the numerator and the denominator have common factors am I able to actually reduce and cancel the like terms. Okay, so let's look at the next page. The next page you have is called Limericks for Algebra 2. So it says we're going to solve the rational equations by the method of choice, find the code word that represents the answer, and write the code word in the corresponding blanks below. So you guys are going to use both multiplying and dividing rules and the adding and subtracting rules to finish the Limericks worksheet. Okay, we will actually finish this in class tomorrow.